Hey, this is Bri. I'm doing this in my living room. I don't really have that many flat surfaces in my apartment to be able to do this super accurately, so we had to use my coffee table. I hope that's okay. My husband's going to be my patient, so we're going to get started. All right. Hi, I'm Bri. And I'm going to be a student PTA, and I'm going to do some goniometry and some manual muscle testing on you today. Is that okay?
Yes.
All right. So first thing that we have is we're going to measure the goniometry on your shoulder, and you're in the perfect position, hook line position, because that flattens out your back. So what we're going to do is the axis of this measurement is going to take place at your greater tuber pool. And I'm going to put the stationary arm down the midline of your thorax, and the moving arm is going to be going up the lateral side of your humerus, and I'm going to use your lateral epicondyle as a visual point, okay?
Okay.
So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to passively see what you can do for flexion, which it looks like you have the full range of 180 degrees. So I've got the axis over your greater tuber pool, and if you can go ahead and do that movement for me. It looks like he does have the full range, 180. Perfect, Mr. Augustine. You can put it back. Okay. The next one that we're going to do is elbow flexion and extension. So I'm going to put a towel under your humerus here to kind of even out your arm, and that'll help us give a better reading. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And it's very important that you have your hand open, because that helps with a better reading as well. Okay? Axis is going to be the lateral epicondyle here, and the stationary arm is going to go up the midline of the humerus, since we're measuring elbow flexion, and the moving arm is going to be the midline of the radius, and we're going to use the radial styloid and head as a reference point. So first, see what you can do. And both of those look normal. Over the lateral epicondyle, going up the humerus. Okay, can you flex your elbow? I'm pushing just a little bit, just to get a little more. Okay. And it looks like he has 140 degrees of flexion, which I believe is within the normal limit. I think he can go up to 150 for it to be considered abnormal. Okay, we're going to go ahead and measure your extension now. So all you do is just put your arm back to where it was. Okay. Same axis and same reference points, which it looks like once again he has 0 degrees of extension, which is perfect. He doesn't have any hyperextension, so that's good. Okay. Next one is going to be internal rotation. So what I'm going to need you to do is put your arm out this way, and then we're going to flex your elbow to 90 degrees. We're going to keep this here, okay? So I don't know if you can see, the axis point is going to be his olecranon process here. The stationary arm is going to go straight down perpendicular to the floor, and the moving arm is going to align with the ulnar stylo process right up here. Okay, so axis over the olecranon, move stationary arm to the floor, and we're going to passively move. Okay. I'm stopping right there because his shoulder is starting to move just a little bit, so it's starting to pop up a little bit, so I don't want to hurt him too much. So can you go ahead and do what I just did? And stop. Looks like he is right on the money with a 70-degree of internal rotation. That is considered normal. Okay, now we're going to move into some manual muscle testing. I'm jumping around a little bit just because I didn't want to make him move around too much, so I'm trying to keep him in the same position for several of these tests. So, for the manual muscle testing of trunk flexion, a 5 out of 5 is going to be considered if he can put his hands behind his head and completely clear the table of his neck and scapula. So we're going to record him doing that. Mr. Augustine, can you keep your head towards the or your chin towards the ceiling and raise your back off the table? Perfect, which as you can see he is doing. So he's definitely a 5 out of 5, but we're going to do the 4 out of 5 and then the 3 out of 5 as well. Mr. Augustine, can you cross your arms over your chest? Okay. Can you clear your back off the table? Perfect. Okay. And then the 3 out of 5 test is just putting his arms out to the side and clearing his scapulae off the table again. Awesome. Good job. Okay, the next one that we're going to do is the capital extension manual muscle test. So Mr. Augustine, can you lay on your stomach and have your head and neck off of the table, please? He is a wonderful patient. Okay, and what we're going to do here, I'm going to try and film this as best as I can with my hand. Okay. Alright. Mr. Augustine, what I'm going to need you to do, I'm going to apply some resistance back here, and I'm going to need you to look up at the wall and hold it for me. Perfect. Okay. So because he was able to resist maximal resistance, he is a 5 out of 5. And the next one that we're going to do is shoulder external rotation. We're going to test for a 5 out of 5 for that. So, Mr. Augustine, I just need you to scoot back a little bit. Okay, we're going to need, sorry, I keep having to readjust. Okay, I need your head turned towards me. We're going to need to have your arm completely supported, but not your forearm. So what I'm going to need you to do, can you raise your arm up to the level of the table? Keep your head facing this way. Perfect. All right, so we know, automatically that he is a 3 out of 5. So now I'm going to do the resistance to see if he's a 5 out of 5. Okay. He was able to keep it up, so he is a 5 out of 5. Okay. The next couple of tests, we just need the table, so you can get off. And I just need your forearm up like this, okay? And I'm actually going to hand the camera to him since his other hand is free. Okay. So this is going to be the manual muscle test for wrist extension, but this is for 2 out of 5. No, wrong one. Right there. Oh. So this is for a 2 out of 5 for wrist extension. Normally we would have them in a different position, but because this is a gravity minimized, this is what they're doing. So all that we're going to ask the patient to do is see if they can extend their wrist against no resistance, which it looks like he can. Yay! Okay, so he would be a 2 out of 5 if he can complete that range of motion. Okay, and last but not least, I have my little mini goniometer, and we're going to do thumb abduction for goniometry. The axis is going to be over the lateral aspect of the radial styloid process right here, if you can see right here. And then the stationary arm is going to go down the midline of the second metacarpal, so it's just going to be this one right here. And then the moving arm is going to be the first metacarpal movement right here. So all I'm going to have him do is abduct his thumb out as far as he can. Is that as far as you can, possibly? Okay. And try not to extend your hand out too much. Okay. I'm reading it. Okay, so it looks like he has a abduction of 70 degrees, which is right on the money for what is normal. So my husband is very normal, which I guess is good. I hope that you could see everything. If you couldn't, feel free to let me know and I can re-video some of this stuff.